me. Okay. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 2866 and Doubleshot number 2760. We got two Chuck Dixon books for you. Been a while since basically we had stuff with two books by Chuck Dixon. First is one that he has done in a while, well, because he already left the book, which 100. That being Robin. Yep, this is talking about his very brief return to Robin. And before I talk about the main book itself, like what happens in the issues. By the way, the book is basically, let's see if I can find it here. The trade is called, let me get to it here. It is called Violent Tendencies, which collect issues 170 to 174 and the Robin/Spoiler special. Okay, those of you curious, why was this run so short? Why did he leave after only doing these 5 issues in a special? The reason is he got fired for the book. Why? Chuck mentioned on his podcast about this. He does not know the reason why. He got fired from this and Batman the Outsiders the same time. And according to him, when he came back to DC Comics from this time, he was sort of on probation based upon lies people told about him. Like, the lies people were saying he was lazy, the fact that he wouldn't cooperate with some people. Like I think allegedly, he was implying that maybe he had bad attitude to people, but not really. He basically would have disagreements with editors. But I think what actually the reason why I told these lies, because, and I have said this multiple times, I think the reason why Chuck Dixon, people told these lies about him, is because he had the balls to stand for himself. And after only these 5 issues in special, he was fired from the book. He was never given a reason why. He just was fired. I would love to know the reason why he was fired from the book. Were the issues terrible? No, not really. Now, according to Chuck Dixon, the way he does series he works on is that he works on like 12 at a time. Like 12 one week. He writes a script for like 12 straight issues in 1 week. And the thing is, he of course never worried about deadlines. Because his whole thing was that he worked constantly ahead so that the only thing he had to worry about was basically the artist. Which a lot of artists he's worked with have no problem with him doing that. You know, so he scripts ahead of time. If there's any corrections need to be done, he'll do it. And that's how generally he does comic work. He's done that. He's been on his podcast. He has done that for decades. For the past 40 years, he has done that. And I guess some people don't like the fact he works ahead. What, you want to be like stretching the deadline? I don't know. So, we have Chris Batista in the artwork here. So, the issue opens up with this new character named Violet. Yeah, that's her name, Violet. Comes in, she's like a vigilante, beats up a guy that looks like Dan DiDio. Yeah, is it just me, or does this guy look like... If they've been seeing pictures of Dan DiDio, like, does this guy look like Dan DiDio? Yes. Oh, of course, Chuck has mentioned he is not a fan of Dan DiDio at all, because he was a part of one of his cliques. So, he kind of suspected one of the books he worked on, Red Dragon, would be canceled after only 12 issues. That's why he left after 12 issues. It wasn't canceled due to low sales, because he was not part of the cliques. That's according to him. He says the clique thing is something that's been, well, preventing him from advancing his career forward in some places. In DC, he did a really good job advancing. He did a lot of work for DC over the years. And I guess some new people don't like the work he did, so they basically told lies about him. So, we have Robin and Batman. I read this and I'm like, oh my gosh. We actually have Robin and Batman being written competently. And be on the same page. Like, they think of Stephanie and, well, and of course see a friend of his who's happy he's back. We see his girlfriend. Which, yeah. I'll talk about spoiler when I get to him. So they chat out basically about the gambling stuff. So he goes to a bowling alley where he runs into Violet, which is a brand new character. And those of you curious about the new character Violet, I think, because I don't remember seeing her before, I think this was her debut appearance, this issue here. Yes, this was her debut appearance. And here's something sad about her. This is the only time she appeared. As soon as this book wrapped up, she was dropped from the comic books. Yeah, I don't know the reason for it. We also had a debut character named Marcus Wise, who later came back in Red Robin. Yeah, but he was here for pretty much the rest of the book after this. He's like, he was introduced by Chuck Dixon, and then he just continued afterwards. There's also a debut of Roman Calavio. He himself was he's a crooked cop who basically appears throughout the remainder of this run. He appears in few issues of Red Robin. So again, my villains here. Jamie Harper, who's a niece of the original Guardian, the great niece. She was added to the group. Now, she is not a character by Chuck Dixon. She's created by somebody else. I don't think it was Chuck Dixon who created her. It was James Robinson. Yeah, that's who created her. And she was already in the book prior to this, but a little bit. But Dixon kind of added the book for a couple issues. Then she returned afterwards. Either he was hesitant to use her, or basically, well, yeah. So, and it's got a good setup here. Tim's got black eyes. He's a blonde girl. Of course, you don't see who it is. Yeah, then of course his head gets grabbed, and apparently he works the Penguin. Yep, he works the Penguin. Moving on to issue 171. Well, this book has got a hilarious opening. And I'm like, what's wrong with this? I find nothing wrong with this at all. We're in 171. Come on. Thank you. Where we open up, where we have the Condiment King just firing a bunch of condiments everywhere. It looks like he's trying to rob something. Of course, Bat and Robin just easily beat him up because he's a joke of a villain. Yeah. And of course, you see her do stuff. We see that Tim basically is, well, on a date with his girlfriend. Yeah, who thinks that she's boring him to death. And then, I was so happy to see this. The return of Redbird! Yes! Tim Drake's awesome car makes his return to this comic. Like, this has not been seen in this comic since, like, oh my gosh, like issue 100. Yeah, this thing has been gone for a long time, and it's back here for these issues, and then it's gone again. You're like, what the heck, DC? Yes, what the heck? So, it's like, as soon as basically Chuck Dixon is leaving this book, like, here's the thing. It is never seen again after this. No, seriously. Like, I was so happy to see the red bird back again. And this looks like a brand new car frame. Looks different from the original car they had. But yeah, it's the red bird. It's Tim's car. Like, this is something Chuck Dixon. Now, I'm not sure why he had it where as soon as he left the book, like in his last issue, he had to have where Tim had to sell his car. And now he's got his car back. Don't know the reason for it. He just has it back now. And my guess is like, oh, because he's Robin, he's supposed to ride a motorcycle, not drive a car. That's Dick Grayson who does that. There's some people with DC confuse Tim for Dick, because Dick's vehicle is always generally a motorcycle. Tim is a car guy. And so then he goes visit Leslie Tompkins. He's a blonde girl, and then he sees like this woman who looks like a tomboy. Yeah, and there's also people like Preston Hale, Raymer, Sister Monica. Yeah, basically just Leslie Tompkins, like... So it's like a support group for alcohol. And of course, we deal with Violet here. And of course, we deal with the one of the crooked cops here from the GCPD. Yeah, so these cops basically just reluctantly work with him. And I read these issues like, wow, it's like we're back to the Chuck Dixon era for this comic. That's what kind of feels like. Also, Chris Batista leaves with issue 171. We have David Bolton, who basically takes over the artwork here. We have Tim. Look at this. You have Tim on a glider. Like, what? Tim on a glider? He, of course, continues with these guys. And he sees... We see, like, the Z thing going on here. Of course, he talks to his girlfriend's father on the phone. And, of course, deals with Violet. And then we see Spoiler is back. Yep, she's back. She actually came back during the events of Gotham Underground. Yeah. Chuck Dixon told me this, and he's told me in his podcast, he absolutely despised the fact they actually killed her off in War Games. He thought killing her off was a mistake, so he's like, I'm going to undo something someone else did, and I think a lot of people are very happy with him doing this. Now, this could have been the reason why he was let go. I'm not sure. He was never told. Now, here's the thing. Last time I checked, there is nothing wrong with another writer retconning something another writer did to a character they spent so much time developing and creating, and then him bringing her back, in my honest opinion, you read these books like, wow, this actually is a smart idea. Killing her off in War Games was a mistake. And reading this proves the fact, yes, it was a mistake to kill her off. Yeah, and Stephanie's back here, spoiler grab again. Because there was like a period of like a year or two where I think no one was allowed to write her because anytime she showed was hallucination. Of course, Tim has to deal with Violet. Even at one point seeing Spoiler again. He's like, spoiler. Yeah. And then we abruptly just end this story arc here. Yeah, the story arc just abruptly gets cut off like, who is Spoiler? Yeah, it's real. We already knew it's Stephanie. It's where Tim finds out it's Stephanie. We even have Violet riding his car briefly, which he's able to get out, and they'll probably have to basically try to nearly hit him. And then she goes, yeah, she's spoiling. Of course, Tim picks her up, makes out with her. Slow down, Tim. And of course, you see Alfred shocked to see the fact she's alive. He drops basically a bunch of tea. But just teacups, which was very affordable. Like, how is this possible? So she explains exactly what happened. Like, it was all Liz Tompkins. Basically, she was, they had to go to Africa, and then the book ends with her talking to her mom. And you would think, oh, next issue they're going to explain this. Nope. Basically, the next thing that came out was a special. The Robin Spoiler Special, also by Chuck Dixon. Which, love the cover nod here, which is a nod to an old Batman cover. Yeah, I think this is one of the early Batman issues, this cover. And it's called Puddles. And Ralph Albuquerque, who does his art, I think the art is okay. It just basically, the face looks so bizarre. Yep. Yeah, and then of course we have. He talked to his girlfriend. Of course he. Yeah, and of course you have Tim writing with Stephanie. And of course everybody's happy to see her live. Well, it's like her being integrated back into the DC universe. This one, and of course they work together. We even have Tim's car transform, which is so awesome. Like, I miss this. His car transforming into a different car, and be a bunch of bad guys. It's like this book is like a lot of fun. Then we cut to a backup story in this special. Yes, the special has got a backup story in it. Yes, it does. Called Kelly. Yeah, also by Chuck Dixon. Art by Victor Ibizia. Where basically this book is basically this backup story is basically, well, the best way to describe it, it's basically what Stephanie was up to after War Games, where her helping refugees in Africa with Leslie Tompkins. It's just a story about that. That's kind of basically what we deal with here. And eventually it leads to a return to Gotham at the end of the thing. Oh yeah, and also yeah, and then of course she goes home, and then you would think, oh, next issue we continue the story. Nope, Dixon got let go. Yep, he got let go. For reasons unexplained. And those of you think, oh, was he blacklisted for something was stupid? No, that was, he of course has never given an explanation or reason for it, so there's that. But I love these issues. I thought these issues were really good. It's a shame he got let go after only 5 issues of this book. It's like he just one circ and he's done. And it's not because he wanted to leave the book. Oh no, he wanted to do the book more. Like his run was last longer than just 5 issues. But nope, DC in their infinite wisdom decided to let him go after only 5 issues and a specialist book. Yep, now moving on to Birds of Prey. We're starting with issue 22 and with issue 46. Like, Nick, wait a minute. That's 25 issues. Well, there'll be some skipping. Skipping over issues 27, 39 to 41, and 43. 22 to 24. This is a 3-parter where it picks up right where Hunter Oracle leaves off, where Black Canary is asked, is she Oracle? And she kind of says yes, but really she isn't. So Blockbuster hires her, and of course she's here with Lady Vic, Deathstroke, yes, frickin' Deathstroke. There's also Gorilla here too, and I think Cheshire's here too as well. Oh yeah, I love the fact when she comes out, and as soon as she's basically like Black Canary, she fights, and of course you have Blockbuster stopping her. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah, Deathstroke. So the whole thing is like they have to go to the Gorilla City, and they got to pay a lot of money, and the rule of Gorilla City this time is Gorilla Grodd. You're thinking, why the heck would the Gorilla City? Because they need a heart from an ape. So from one of the gorillas, they like this gorilla here mentions that we need a heart transplant for this big hulking human known as Ronald Desmond Blockbuster. They describe him as a hairless ape, even though he's got hair in his head. And of course, Grodd's like not interested, and he mentions, "Oh yeah, they're gonna pay $100 million," and Grodd's like, "Really? Okay, we're gonna put you in confinement. We'll confirm this. Yeah." I mean, it seems so awesome the fact they go to the Gorilla City in these 3 issues, and this just happens just right after the Hunt for Oracle story, which that's where Diana finally finds out that, well, that Oracle was Barbara Gordon. Of course, Tim Drake is here, obviously, in the background. Yeah. Now, does Blockbuster get his heart? Well, you're about to find out. Because the story gets basically concluded with issue 24. And this also was set up at the end of issue 19. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so, yeah, then she's rescued by Guy Gardner's brother, Joe Gardner. Next time we'll home me, his mom and dad. What about us? And, well, they apparently got the heart and they go right back to Bloodhaven. Yep. You would think, oh, next issue does kind of deal with this. Well, they do explain how they got the heart out. So then we have Ted Kord in the book, flying the bug. And it seems as though like Chuck really wanted to hook up Barbara with Ted, but it doesn't work out. And then we see Diana, where I think it's Diana, where she's like, Diana, where she's like in a bikini, wearing this bat symbol around her neck, and she's having a blast at this resort. Then Ted Kord's like, I feel like a bad sequel. The Blue Beetle rides again. He's like, I'm surprised Costas, because there was actually a thing in the JLI book. That's actually a joke from Keith Giffen and James Potatoes' run for JLI, where Ted put on weight and he couldn't put in the costume anymore, but apparently he slimmed down enough where he could put the costume back on. Yeah, and then of course they fly off in this great standalone issue. Moving on to issue 26, which is another standalone issue. Well, the whole thing of this one is like, Bane wants to seduce Black Canary. Yeah, it's like as soon as he sees her, it's like the way Chuck Dixon writes this here, it's like he wants Bane to have sex with Black Canary. I think it's implied that he wants to sleep with her, but it's like a big romance issue. Like, it seems so odd being Bane, be with Black Canary, and then the book ends with an appearance by Late Shield. Now, 27 is Officer Down. That's I'm skipping over that one. Moving on to 28. 28 to 20 to 30 is known as History Lesson. It's a 3-parter where it's like we have appearance by Cheshire, who's here, and this features Return of the Ravens from the Girl Frenzy one-shot. Yep, it's basically Barbara dealing with them for a few issues. That's kind of what the story is. And then 31, begins a brand new story. Plus, I love this cover here. This cover is fantastic. Um, who does this amazing cover? Because this cover, this is a bit surprised. This cover are actually sticks around for a good period of time, even after Chuck Dixon leaves the book. Okay, this I don't think this is Casey Jones in this arc. It's not Phil Noto. It's J.G. Jones. That's his amazing artwork here. Yeah, it feels like a movie poster. And fun fact, J.G. Jones, very first cover he ever did. And did he do the interior? No, that was Mike McDonald. But yeah, this first comic he ever did. Yeah, but first cover he ever did. But wow, damn, this was so good. Like, in case you're curious though, how long did he stay as the cover artist for Birds of Prey? Just this one issue. I could have sworn this artist basically goes around more than one cover because maybe because Alex Sinclair stuff. Let me find out here. Okay, looks like he did just one cover, but I could have sworn the style of artwork here was done for more than one cover because this is the artwork for quite a while. This is known as big romance storyline. So issue 31 wraps up with issue number 38. Jason Bard's back in the book. And this whole thing in this book is kind of interesting where Roz wants to marry her. And Talia is looking forward to having this woman who's old enough to be her daughter because Talia is older than she is. And she's very interested in having her become her stepmother. Yes, seriously. That's the big thing with this story is that Roz wants to marry Black Canary. I don't really know why. It's just basically that's kind of what it is here. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, Talia's mother, his name is Melissa Dalgoul. And she was just in the Son of the Demon one shot. Yeah, and also her sister Nissa. Yeah, they killed her off with the opening issue of Robin Wanted. Yeah, in the opening issue. But this whole storyline, which started basically this starts with 31. I think it wraps up by 37. I think it is. Yeah, then 32 is basically Phil Noto. I think this is the artist who basically. Oh yeah, this is also his first cover too. Yep. Now, he would be the cover artist for quite a while, even after basically Chuck Dixon left the book. He would not lead the book until issue 55. But 60 one-off return for him, but that would be it. But a very interesting storyline where Roz basically trying to seduce Black Canary. And of course you have Ted Corbin here, this whole storyline with Power Girl. And the biggest thing that happens in this story arc is that Diana gets a dip in the Lazarus pit, where she gets her ability of her sonic scream restored. Yep, after it was taken away from her back in the 80s by Mike Grell because he didn't want anybody to have powers. And it was also implied in the Longbow Hunters book that when she was captured and tortured by the serial killer in the book, he not only took away her ability of sonic scream, it was also implied he took away her ability to have children. And in this book here, it's implied that's also fixed as well, where she would have children again. But today she's never had a child. Nope, never has. But this is an excellent story arc. Yeah, and she goes a little bit nuts for a bit, but. And then the story, the thing ends with basically leading into Joker's last laugh, where we have Jokerized versions of these following villains: Shadow Thief, Simon, Helgermite, Copperhead, Captain Nazi, Hector Hammond, Joseph Joe Gardner, Guy Gardner's brother, Chemo, Monmouths, Lady Spellbinder, Multiman, and Mr. Mind. Lady Spellbinder. Yeah, she is a character Chuck Dixon did create. Who got killed off in Infinite Crisis because, of course, they did. Yeah, Joe Gardner, who's Guy Gardner's brother. I think this would be his last appearance in the book. Yeah, this sadly would be his last appearance. And in case you're curious, is he Chuck Dixon character? Yes, he is. This will sadly be his last appearance in this book. He will never appear ever again. 37 is basically featuring Tim, and we have a new Condiment King. The Joke one who appeared in Robin. Yeah, this is basically first showed up in this issue here, and then he popped up in issue Robin. He apparently had a flashback for Batgirl Year 1, and then he got killed off in Final Crisis Aftermath run. Also, Genome appears in this issue too. Yeah, this creature's only around for this one issue, and that was it. But love this issue. Feature also Nightwing as well. 38 is basically taking on. Let's see, 38. It's just a standalone issue before the whole Bruce Wayne murderer stuff, where it's like her infiltrating a company. Doing a lot of Mission Impossible type of stuff. And then becomes Bruce Wayne murderer afterwards. I'm going to skip over that. Skip to issue number 42. 42 is basically a team up. It's where it does feature Black Canary in the book. It's basically the one time you had Power Girl join the roster. It's basically her working with Black Canary, and the reason why she is not not working with Oracle, and the reason why she doesn't work with him and doesn't want to work with her. And then skipping straight to issue 44. These are the last three issues done by Chuck Dixon. Yeah, basically this one came with Connor, Deathstroke, Eddie Fires, Cameron. Basically, it feels like these issues here are sort of a semi-continuation of what Chuck was doing over in Green Arrow. That's kind of what these last three issues are. I feel like to me anyways. Yeah. Chuck also mentioned on his podcast that for some reason that Eddie Fires wasn't used in Kevin Smith's run, but he featured him here, no problem. And this kind of led into, I think he also had like a mini series for him not long after this, around the same period of time. But love these issues. I give these issues a 10 out of 10. I'll be right back. Okay, he's back. Seems like I answered the door too. Okay, next view. Bye.